The Garbarakshambigai temple is an ancient temple in the village of Thirukarukavur. This sacred space has been revered and praised in the Thevaram by the Nayanmars almost 1200 years ago. The temple has inscriptions dating to the year 907 in the Common Era, during the reign of the Chola Emperor Parantaka I. Even during his time, the temple was already a renowned sacred spot. The history of this temple goes way back. Many great saints have graced this sacred space with their presence. The legends associated with this temple are many and mysterious. The most famous legend is the reason why the goddess here is venerated as Garbarakshambigai, she who protects the embryo. According to the narrative, Nithruva was a highly learned man, well versed in all the arts. He married Vedikai, who was from the lineage of sage Vashishta. He had undertaken a long pilgrimage, and once he had reached this sacred spot, he built an hermitage for himself and his wife. The childless couple, desiring a child, worshipped Lord Shiva in the form of a Swayambhu Lingam, a self-manifested lingam. Here, they decorated the lingam with mullai, jasmine flowers, and hence to this day the deity here is called Mullai Vananadar. A forest full of jasmine flowers must have surrounded this place in the ancient past. Soon, Vedika became pregnant with their first child. Nithruva had gone to perform a yajna nearby when Urdhvapada Muni, a sage who had completed a long and arduous pilgrimage, came by to the house of Nithruva asking for food. Vedika, because she was pregnant, could not get up to give the sage his alms. Unable to see her plight, the sage got angry and cursed Vedika with a dreadful disease. Due to the power of the curse, the fetus was aborted. Vedika fervently prayed for deliverance from her condition. The Divine Mother, Devi Parvati, manifested before her, and the legends say that she kept the fetus in a pot containing an elixir, and this pot was called the Amuda Kumbam. The goddess Devi Parvati puts the preterm baby into this artificial womb, the pot containing an elixir, and ensured that the baby survived. The word Amritam itself means Amritam, not death, immortality. The symbolic kalasa is still used in many Hindu rituals. This is a symbol of fertility and nourishment, and you can see this kalasam in many temples wielded by many deities in Hinduism. And in fact, ancient sages like Agastya were said to have been born out of this type of a kalasam or a pot. It is in this sacred spot that one of the uses of this Amrita Kalasam is revealed. The term of pregnancy was completed and the baby was born. But the baby now had to be nourished. Vedika was still weak due to the curse, so Ma Parvati summoned Kamadhenu, the divine cow, and Kamadhenu nourished the child with milk. Legend states that the milk from Kamadhenu filled the pond in front of this temple. Even to this day, this pond is called Kshirakundam. So this is one legend associated with this space, where goddess Parvati took the embryo that was almost destroyed and nourished it back into a healthy child. On seeing the splendor of the Divine Mother, Vedika wishes that Ma Parvati bless all expectant mothers in this sacred spot. Till today, expecting mothers visit this temple to get the blessings of Sri Garbarakshambigai, who accords protection to them. The legends associated with this temple are not just restricted to the southern parts of India. To the north of the Himalayas, there was a king called Kujatvasan. He gets a desire to hunt and goes with his army to a sacred forest near his kingdom. This forest was also home to many sages who spent time meditating there, and this forest hence was deemed sacred. The inhabitants of the forest were disturbed when they learned that the king had come to hunt there. A sage, Satya, tried to make the king understand that hunting was prohibited in this sacred forest because it would disturb the meditative penance of the sages who were there as well. The king discarded the sage's advice and proceeded to hunt. The infuriated sage cursed that the king would transmute into a tiger and live this way for eternity. The frightened king, on seeing his condition, pleaded with the sage, and finally the sage relented and told the king that after a period of 1,000 years he would find himself liberated at this sacred spot of Thirukarukavur. The king did as he was told and finally regained his form. Yet another legend is that of the moon, Chandra. It is said that Chandra, symbolized by the moon, was cursed by Daksha. To alleviate himself of the curse of Daksha, Chandra worshipped Shiva in many sacred places, and this is one such place. This ancient temple is architected in a way that on every full moon day during the month of Panguni, mid-March to mid-April, the rays of the moon fall directly on Lord Shiva. These are just a few legends associated with this temple. Irrespective of whether one believes in these legends or not, after centuries, this temple still stands, its doors open to those who seek the blessings of the Divine Mother. The great sage Thirukarukavur, moved by the sanctity of this spot, composed an entire poem venerating Lord Shiva. A verse from that poem states, Vittam mulayagum veretanam Vendum uruvamam virumbi nindra pattam adiyar kor panganumam. The seed, the sprout, and the root. He assumes any form at will and is the support of those who venerate him. As always, the known is a drop and the unknown an ocean. Peace.